What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Entrepreneurs Podcast. My next guest helps creative entrepreneurs build powerful online brands that impact the world so that they can create more profit doing what they love. And she has a brand new branding workbook out called Make Your Brand Stand Apart online with these 7 simple steps that you can download for free right now at creativemarketing.com. So, welcome to the show, Kri Gentile.
Thanks, Corey. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me on. And I'm just so excited to chat with your followers today. I can't wait. This is going to be really a lot of fun. I'm excited.
Yeah, awesome. I'm super stoked to have you here. I appreciate you taking time out of your day. And I got a question I got to ask you. I was doing a little bit of research, getting ready for the interview, and I remember you said something in one of your other interviews that at one time in the past you had to actually beg your parents to take a picture of you in front of a Walgreens in Times Square. Can you explain that story a little bit?
I didn't have to beg them. I actually was begging them to get down there. So I'll definitely fill you in on that story. So when I first so after graduating college, I went to school for design, and so I graduated college and I got a job in corporate America as an art director, and I quickly climbed the corporate ladder really fast. I went from junior art director to senior art director to junior creative director really fast. And it was around that time when I was about a senior art director when I had been working on a really amazing campaign for Excedrin migraine. Do you know the brand?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Excedrin migraine, we came up with this whole little skit. It was an animated video, and they were going to be advertisements that were displayed all across the Walgreens building in Times Square. So the whole building and the whole Walgreens building was just covered and plastered with all these ads that I had just designed. I had spent about 6 months working on this project with my team, and it was amazing. So the day that the ads were airing, I was so excited. And I live in Connecticut, so I'm only about 2 hours from New York City. So I got home from work that day, and I wrangled all of my friends. I got some friends. I got my brothers. I wanted my parents to come, but I couldn't get a hold of them. So I don't know where that got caught in translation. But I was with a bunch of my family and loved ones, and I grabbed them. We got on the train. We headed down to New York City, and I had to drag them all there so that they can see my artwork. And I was so proud and excited. And everyone was taking pictures, and it was a really monumental moment for me. So that was a really pivotal time in my career when I kind of saw my work on the big screen and in Times Square across billboards, and I just kind of felt like, wow, all my hard work is really paying off, and it's so exciting. So that
Yeah.
that was that story.
No doubt. That is awesome, man. I mean, yeah, to be in the middle of Times Square having your artwork on display in front of millions of people, that had to be an awesome moment for you. And also, like you say, a pivotal moment too in your career because seeing your work come to fruition like that, the inspiration that had to give you to just, keep plugging must have been awesome.
Yeah, it was really exciting. I've never felt anything quite like that until I was able to kind of start. That's what kind of got me into thinking a little bit bigger. At that point, I was kind of stuck in my cubicle life. I was working in corporate America. I was kind of stuck in this, 3 by 3 foot cubicle. I had the routine, and I loved what I was doing so much, but I just couldn't stand like the routine of like corporate life, and kind of feeling like I wasn't able to like shine the way I really wanted to and the way I wanted to impact the world. It just wasn't, I was kind of just hidden. I was just another number in an office building. And so that was about the time when, something shifted, and I was like, okay, I can do this. I'm looking at my work in Times Square. So it's time for bigger and better. It's time to move on. It's time for more impact. It's time to do way more stuff. So that's what got me excited to finally start my own path, become my own boss, create my own creative agency. And it wasn't shortly after that I just decided I'm going to be done with corporate America. I put in my 2 weeks notice, and I was ready to hit the ground running as a business owner, and start from the ground up. And it's been about 4.5 years now, and it's just been amazing that we've been kind of building our business, and we have a team now, and it's just amazing. So everything happens for a reason.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Congratulations. And yeah, let's dig into that a little bit, because, I can totally relate to that struggle of being in, an office and being just sort of a cog in the machine, like you say, you're just a number. And, for someone who has so much creativity and so many ideas, I can sense, that just wasn't, that was not going to work for you. So tell me, have you always had like an entrepreneurial type of mindset, or what made you actually think about, going out on your own, and, I guess what gave you the courage to actually do that? Because a lot of people, I mean, that's terrifying.
Yeah, it's extremely terrifying. And I remember there being so many, um, things that I was scared about. Like, I'm not going to have the health insurance I'm used to. I'm not going to have the benefits I'm used to. I'm not going to have the steady paycheck I'm used to. I'm not going to have the schedule I'm used to. Because as much as the schedule kind of sucked, I mean, I worked like 16-hour days, and I had a 2-hour commute to work. So I would, I'd be up in the morning at like 6 a.m. I'd get there by 9, hopefully, if I battle through traffic on time. I'd walk into this office, and like I kept feeling like everyone was already mad at me. And it's just like that structure was just really weighing in on me. Because as a creative person, I'm sure it's, you know, to kind of shine and do what you're meant to do. You can't really do it out of like a cookie cutter like format. You kind of have to, open yourself up to different routines and seeing the world differently, and being open to different ways of doing things. So yeah, that was really weighing in on me. And so I started having to battle like the plus and the negatives, the pluses and negatives. So yes, I had the steady paycheck. Yes, I had all the security in the world, but I was so unhappy because I felt like I wasn't making an impact. I felt like I wasn't, I didn't have my own schedule. I wasn't able to kind of, you know, set the bar for what my standards were going to be and what I wanted to bring into my life. I couldn't really create what I needed to under like a cookie cutter, uh, template kind of life. So I decided that it was just time at that point, to explore and to try new things. I didn't have kids. I wasn't married. I didn't have responsibilities. And I just kept thinking to myself, if there's going to be any time to do this and to take the jump and leap of faith, I have to do it now. And now's the time. And I was really fortunate, I must say, because I've grown up in a family of entrepreneurs. So I was surrounded by entrepreneurs my whole life. My parents are world-renowned wedding photographers. So I helped them build their business. I watched them build their business since the time I was a baby. I could remember them, running their business out of our basement and then moving into a studio and then another studio, and just understanding the whole process of how you grow in entrepreneurship, from my parents. And then as I matured and got older and I graduated college, and then my siblings are also, they kind of grew with me, and they're entrepreneurs as well. So I was always surrounded by this, like a family of people who kind of thought that way, and we're trying to find, different ways to, be reinvigorated and to help the world in a different way. So I was fortunate enough, to be surrounded by that my whole life, which gave me a lot of confidence when it was time for me to make the switch on my own. Because I saw the struggle my parents went through. And I was kind of a little bit more prepared. But that's not to say that it wasn't hard. It was definitely one of the hardest times in my life. There was a lot of soul searching, a lot of mindset shifts that needed to happen, a lot of education, a lot of just confidence in yourself, like undeniable confidence, just always, trying your best. It really tests you. It tests your mind, body, and soul. But it was the most amazing. I mean, I kind of say entrepreneurship is like a roller coaster. It's always up and down. But it's the most rewarding, I'm just so grateful that I actually did it, because it's like I said, so rewarding. It brings amazing, I get to meet amazing people. I get to work on amazing projects, and I get rewarded the way that I always wanted to be rewarded, because I set the standards. So it's really awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. And I was going to ask if you had like support around you when you decided to make that leap. And so that's awesome. So your whole family was kind of entrepreneurial. Your friends, your family, you were surrounded by that idea of building something for yourself. So it wasn't so foreign for you. I'm curious though, what would be your advice maybe for some of those that don't have that support, that are interested, in making this switch in their life or their career, whatever it may be, that they want to go start building something on the side, but maybe they don't have that support at home. Is there another way where they can find that support, or like what would your advice be for them?
Oh my gosh, that's such a great question. So my biggest advice for that is, first, it's kind of two-part. Number one, jump in fast and just make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. They're going to happen. You're going to hit bumps in the road all the time, constantly. So have patience, have grace. I remember I was so impatient, and I wanted results immediately. And so I would constantly be frustrated with myself, because I was comparing myself to everybody else, and I was wondering why things weren't happening as fast for me. And that ate away at me for a long time. That really affected me, because there was, like I said, a lot of mind shift beliefs that needed to change. So once I started realizing, I was frustrated constantly and very impatient, and that taught me, you have to enjoy the process. It's a process. Everything in life is a process, and you have to enjoy it. And once I started enjoying it, it actually started coming easier, and things started happening a lot easier. So my first piece of advice is just get started. You can read all the books, you can take all the courses, you can do all the things, but you're not really going to learn until you actually just get in the trenches and just start doing something. So that, just go head first, make mistakes, and get it done. But the second piece of advice that I definitely recommend right away, to when you're first getting started, is definitely invest in a business coach, or in like creating a tribe of other people around you who support your mission and who understand your mission and who you can rely on for support. Because I remember back when I was getting started, as much as, like, you'd be surprised, my parents are entrepreneurs. It was hard for them to kind of be my support system, because they were so used to protecting me and they wanted to see me safe. So that wasn't really the best advice that I could have been getting, at the time. I needed advice from someone who had done it before, like my parents, but who was fearless, and who could give me a roadmap, and who kind of also, was in my industry. That helped a lot, because I was able to, see what they did wrong, and learn from their mistakes. So as soon as I hired a business coach, that's exactly the moment that my business completely turned around. I remember hiring my first business coach. He was amazing. He just helped me get so clear, um, confident. He helped me wrap my head around all the ideas I had been toying with. He helped me, all the learning I did, all the books, all the courses, it all helped. It definitely helped, and it got me to the place where I needed to go. And, when I was doing my coaching, I would remember things that I learned in my courses or in my books. So it was really helpful, but it wasn't until I had that person, that coach, that mentor, that I could just reach out to anytime, talk with once a week, and just check in with, and he held me accountable. And that was the pivotal moment for me. So make moves fast, make mistakes, and then hire a coach so that they can guide you along the way, and you're going to be golden. Yeah, you need a support system.
That is great advice. Yeah, and I also love what you said too, where just don't be so hard on yourself, right? Don't judge yourself, especially comparing yourself against others, because you will always find somebody who's just a little bit further down the road than you are, and that comparison never goes well. So yeah, that's great advice. All right, so let's switch topics a little bit. I kind of want to get your insight on sort of this crazy world that we're living in, this internet-driven world, and with digital marketing and social media, and really just business fundamentally is changing the way that we communicate and the way that we do business. What are some of your thoughts? Like, what are some things that maybe you're excited about, and also, what do you think people should be focusing on in regards to digital marketing, social media, and this whole internet thing when it comes to business?
Definitely. So yeah, it changes so fast. What's here today might be gone tomorrow. So I've really learned to just be adaptive, and be okay with evolving really quickly. A lot of times people get, hung up on, I just learned that and now I gotta go learn something else all over again. But that's the name of the game. It's constantly, you're evolving, you're constantly doing better, you're constantly moving with the market. So you have to be adaptive, and that's definitely, that's it's a struggle, but that's a part of this crazy world we live in. There's ups and downs, and you're going to learn, and you're going to get better as you go. Some of the things I'm excited about, I think that it's so funny because in a digital world, I think what's going to be coming of this digital world is that we're really just craving real, authentic relationships with people. So even though we're in a digital space and online, I think that what is to come is you're going to see a lot more masterminds, a lot more events happening in person, a lot more one-on-one coaching, a lot more just the one-on-one interaction, because I've really just been seeing the shift in how important it is to grow your network and to really build your relationships with people. Like they always say, your network is your net worth. And it's so true. It wasn't until I started really fostering relationships online and really utilizing the easeability of fostering relationships online that my business has completely changed as well. So yeah, I think some of the biggest things to watch out for are, if you're getting into this space, to really just understand that you can't hide behind a computer just because we're in the digital space. You still have to show yourself. You have to be present. You have to show up. You have to be authentic. You have to be genuine. And building those strong connections is what's going to take you to the next level. So it's all about just, helping people, delivering value, showing up, being who you can be, the best that you can be every single day, and just fostering relationships. It's so important.
Yeah, I love that. And I totally agree. I mean, we're moving into a world where we're getting more and more connected, but like you say, that the authenticity of that connection seems to be not quite what it used to be. I mean, you pick up the phone and you call somebody and it's just you and them talking and you're having a real conversation, right? You actually go hang out with somebody, you have a conversation, it's very authentic. But for some reason, once we get behind this computer, it's like everything goes out the window and people start acting like somebody they're completely not, and they try to
Yes.
put this front. And I think a lot of that stems from just the fear of being seen, right? Of being seen for who you are. And a lot of people, that's kind of what keeps them from getting into social media, and they have this fear of putting themselves out there. What's like some you give some people for just kind of breaking through that? I mean, I know I had it personally when I first got it started. We're both in this ClickFunnels group, which is a software that we use to build websites. And the guy who runs it, one of his main points is, his main teaching is to publish, right? Just get out there and start publishing yourself, because you have to get yourself out there. Otherwise, the market's never going to know about you. And, a lot of people go through this struggle, like it's fear based. But what can we do to get beyond that fear and just actually put ourselves out there authentically?
Just do it. It's like there's really no, it's so simple. You just have to do it. I like you, I've been terrified for years. I was terrified. I stopped myself, and then I would live with the regret of, if I had just done that, if I had just showed myself, if I had just been present in that conversation, I could have possibly changed someone's opinion, or I could have changed, the world if I really just was present. And then, the regret started to eat away at me. It's like, what am I doing? What are you doing stuck behind, enclosed in your home or your safe space, you're not impacting the world. You're not helping others. And it's your God-given mission to get out there and talk about the things that you're passionate about, that you understand, that you know, because you can help other people. So my biggest thing is when I switched my mindset to understanding that, showing up means helping others. It's not about me. It's not about how I feel. It's not about how I look. Nobody cares about how I look. Nobody cares how I'm feeling right now. They just care about how I can help them. They care about, how I can take them to the next level. And so if you kind of switch your mindset, and instead of making it about yourself and how you feel, you start to think about, what you're going to be doing and how you're going to be impacting others and how you're going to be changing other people's lives. And then that kind of gives you the motivation to understand this is necessary. You have to get out there because you can help other people. So yeah, when you have that God-given ability, you have to take advantage of it. And I know it's really, really difficult, but the biggest thing for me has just been practice. The more you do it, the more comfortable you get. And then after a while, it just becomes like second nature. It's just like any skill, riding a bike, you have to do it a couple times and then you'll get used to it and you'll be able to do it like, with your eyes closed. So it's just practice, just do it like Nike.
Yeah, I like that too. And like you said, if you can just realize that you are here to serve, if like you said, that mindset shift, if we can shift out of, you know, oh, worrying about ourselves and what we look like and how we come across, and instead remembering, okay, it doesn't matter. Like none of that matters. I have a message to deliver because I have people I need to help. And if that's the bottom line behind your actions, you get around that fear, right? So that's awesome. Yeah. You know, I could go on and talk about this all day just because I love motivation, I love inspiration. But I want to go ahead and shift it one more time with you, Kri, and I want to talk about sort of the work-life balance. Like we as entrepreneurs tend to be working, I mean, all day. It's really, if we don't stop ourselves, we'll just keep working, and a lot of people, they think that entrepreneurship is shiny and amazing, and it's like, oh, just become an entrepreneur and you can live the life of your dreams, right? And live on the beach and drink pina coladas all day. But unfortunately, that's not the reality. So how do you manage, life and this business that you're running, and everything else that you've got going on? Like, what's your process for managing all that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And especially because my fiance, is also my business partner. So it takes it even a step further. And it's like, how do you separate work and your personal life? And we live together. And, so what we like to do is, I mean, it's all a matter of like kind of creating a routine for yourself that, that puts you in the place you need to be in order to be inspired and be motivated and continue on. Because as you know, as entrepreneurs, you can get burnt out really, really quickly. You can work all day, work all night, do it day in and day out, and after a while, there's burnout. So there's been things over the years that we've started implementing. Like, for example, I never get started with phone calls or any type of work right away in the morning. I always give myself at least an hour or two to settle in, to think through, what I need to get accomplished that day, that week, that month, to set goals, to do some mindset work, some yoga, get into my groove, so to speak, because it makes such a big difference. I used to get up, when I was first getting into entrepreneurship, I used to wake up and just immediately, you pick up your phone and you have 15 notifications and you have emails you have to respond to. And when you start getting into that right away, again, burnout happens really quickly. So I've learned over the years that I need to, be patient with myself, have grace, and allow myself the time that I need for self-care, every single day. It's 100% necessary. You got to do things that you have fun doing, that you enjoy. You have to embed fun into your day. Otherwise, you're going to start to feel burnout right away. I mean, like you, I'm sure we can work night and day. I can work until 3 o'clock in the morning, wake up and do it all over again because I'm just obsessed and addicted to work. And I love what we do. I love helping people. So I could literally not turn it off if I chose to, but I had to make the cognizant, switch to realize that, you need to include self-care. You need time during your day to just, go get your favorite drink from Starbucks, or take a walk around the block, or just call a friend. Just, you got to embed those moments into your daily habits. Otherwise you'll just find burnout really fast.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you mentioned your fiance is your business partner.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, we
So,
work,
so yeah, how do you
all the
guys, I mean, at dinner, are you guys talking about business, or is there like, okay, we can talk about it now, but and then 15 minutes later we have to switch topics? Like, how does that work?
It's actually really interesting. It's still kind of it's an evolving process. Like, yeah, there is times, it's so funny, like, when you're an entrepreneur, your whole life kind of just your perspective changes on everything, especially as creative entrepreneurs. Like, for example, like, we'll sit down to watch a movie, but it's no longer watching movies. It's like, for me, it's like picking apart,
Right.
oh, the creative direction and what they're wearing, and oh, he's wearing yellow, and that's because this is a sunny set, and they want to make you feel warm and inviting. And so I'm like, I just tear apart everything. Like, I approach life that way. When we're driving and I see a house and I'm going into the design world and we talk about that. So it's excuse me, I'm choking on myself. But it's not so much like turning it off. It's more so just like finding that equal balance. Like, when you start focusing on it too much, you start to realize that you're kind of like getting at each other, and there's like a little bit of tension, and like, when it starts to get there, then it's like, okay, we need to go have fun. We need to go do something to take our minds off of it. We need to go have, we'll do like an activity. We like kayaking. We like taking nice walks, and we'll just get our minds off of it. But for the most part, it's actually really nice having someone who understands the same mindset and who has the same values and thoughts about things, because we can relate on with so much more. So it just makes things a lot more interesting now. Like, when we're cooking dinner, we can find ways to relate that back to a client problem, or, how we can solve things. And it's natural to us. So it's not something that we feel like we have to shut off all the time. But there are definitely the times that, you'll feel the tension, and it's time to go do something fun and let loose.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's awesome. And I'm happy for you guys that you're able to build something together. That must be a really special experience, to be able to share that with, the person that you love. So that's awesome. And, it's funny what you mentioned about like watching a movie and just like picking it apart. I find myself doing this all the time too. It's like, ever since I started learning about marketing and like becoming an entrepreneur, and it's just, yeah, you're right. Your mind just changes. The way you look at things. I can't enjoy anything anymore without thinking about like how the together, and what are they trying to get, like what reaction are they trying to get from the audience, and it's just funny. You're right, the perspective changes, and I don't know if we can fix that once we've gone down that hole.
It's
Unfortunately.
so true. Like, every single thing. It was so funny. I was on this morning. I went to go like get onto my Trello board, and I went, like, I don't know why it didn't come up automatically, so I had to Google Trello. And when I put Trello into the Google search, I noticed that there was like 4 different apps for organization that went above the Trello link. And so like my marketer mindset's on, and I'm like, why is Trello 4th down on Google ranking list? And this is so bizarre. And it's like, oh my God, Kri, nobody else has these thoughts. Like, only you are thinking, why is Trello not the first one on Google search engine? So it's just everything. Like, every little thing changes. Even marketing. I mean, you drive down the street, you see billboards, and you're like, oh yeah, they're running a sale, or they're doing something, just because like the marketing behind everything now. And so it makes life interesting, I guess. Makes my friends extremely frustrated.
No doubt, I'm the same way. Everybody's just like, Corey, seriously, shut up already, we get it. Yeah. Well, Kri, this has been a blast, and again, I really appreciate your time here. Tell us real quick, what do you do for fun? You mentioned you like the kayak, and you guys go for walks. What are some other things that you guys do for fun?
Yeah, I mean, work is fun for me. So I know that's so like kind of cliche, but I do love just like embedding myself in client projects. We've been doing a lot of masterminds lately, where we'll go and join events and help with bringing the brandings, like the aspects of branding. So we'll coach and we'll consult people while we're there. And that's so much fun for me, because I love, love, love traveling like you. So fun for me is really traveling. And when I can embed work into traveling, that's like ultimate paradise for me. So
For
yeah,
fun.
I love traveling for fun. I mean, we have 2 kittens. They make our lives like so happy every day. But we're really simple. We travel a lot for work, so you know we like to just kind of hang out and relax. You know, when we need some time off, that's what we're just kind of just relaxing and enjoying. I love the sun, so anytime I can get outside and just relax, that's like I'm in my happy place.
I love it. I love it. All right, Kri, one last question for you. Looking back from where you are today, looking back on your journey, what's some advice that you would give yourself, you know, at any point in the past, just looking back, what's some advice you would give yourself?
Hmm. Don't be so hard on yourself. So I am so driven that sometimes it can actually like hinder me because I get so like I want everything right away. I want it to now. I want it tomorrow. Um, and and then you start like what happens is you start kind of like being upset with yourself, like you're never satisfied and you're never happy. And so that's been a huge shift for me. You know, learning how to handle that, learning how to just take it day by day, enjoy the process, have patience, understand that what is meant for you is going to come anyway. We are all in the exact same place that we need to be right now. So just trust and have faith in the universe, in, you know, I don't, whatever you believe in. I'm not a very religious person, but I do believe in spirituality, and I do believe that energy is real and that you are right where you need to be. So just have faith in that, and don't get too caught up in the here and now and tomorrows and the yesterdays. Just kind of be present, have patience, and just keep enjoying life. That's all you can do. Life is too short to be anything but happy. So
I
just
love
enjoy.
that. Life is way too short to be anything but happy. Brilliant, brilliant. All right, Kri, thank you again so much. It really has been a blast. Please tell the folks that are listening where they can find you, what you got going on, and what's happening in your world right now.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on. I really hope that I was able to help inspire some people out there. I'm just so excited. Thank you. I can't appreciate you enough for having me on. I'm so excited. But if anyone wants to find out more about me or get in touch or reach out, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, actually all the social media platforms. I'm just at Kri Gentile, so that's Krigentile. And then you can find me at my website, www.creativemarket. Well, I have a couple different websites. So my main website is creativeco.com, and that's spelled KRIATIVCO.com. And then you can also find me. We just launched our brand shop, which are brand identity kits, basically in a box. So all wrapped up nice for you. If you're looking to take your brand into the next level, we have these brand kits. They're quick, they're affordable, and they're super stylish. And you can find those at www.creativemarket.com. So that's KRIATIVMARKET.com. So yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. And everyone, I highly recommend you go check out Kri's stuff. Her pages are insane. They're immaculate. You have got a creative eye that I could only dream. We need to have a conversation after this because my brands need some help. So if you guys need help with your brands, go check out Kri and all her stuff. I'll have all of those links linked up below in the show notes. Kri, thank you again so much. I really enjoyed this conversation, and we'll catch you on the next one.
You too. Thanks so much, Corey. Bye, everyone.